So my course is called Current Affairs, and there are so many different aspects that you can go into with current affairs. So my course is never the same. And I've heard kids have taken this course multiple times, but since current affairs is always happening, then you can go in depth with politics. You can go in depth with endangered species. Just wherever the course comes about and what my students want to get into, I allow them to get into that. So that will be based off of projects, drawings, maybe even songs. I'm a big creative guy, and that's what I like to see out of my students as well. So next year, I will be teaching a class called Heroes versus Villains, Social Justice. And a lot of you guys have asked me what this class is going to be about. And what it's going to be about is really what you can see in your school, your newspaper, your news, every single day. And it's intolerance, because at the seed of every single conflict, there's usually the word intolerance. And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain. It's the inability of one group to really understand the beliefs or design of another group. So when you see that intolerance plays a factor in every single conflict, you're going to understand that we are going to break down a lot of conflicts. So the whole reason of it calling heroes versus villains is, how did these heroes trump these villains, in a sense? You have people like Adolf Hitler, who caused the Holocaust, but you have people like FDR or Eleanor Roosevelt, who were able to kind of get us out of the Great Depression, for lack of better words. Now, with this all coming in, there's going to be a lot in this class. It's not just, the Holocaust. You're going to look at Darfur. You're going to look at Kuwait, not just what happened in America or what happened because of America. You're going to look at African countries all across the world. This is going to be the class where you're going to figure out, one, what it's like to be a good person, and two, where these conflicts have stemmed from. So Heroes versus Villains, Social Justice, look out for it next year.
Another elective course that I teach, and that is psychology. Psychology is one of the social studies electives, but what I like to say about psychology is that it's a lot different than most of the other social studies electives. You're not going to learn about wars, you're not going to learn about presidents, you're not going to learn about history. Instead, you're going to learn about things like learning and conditioning. You're going to learn about how your memory works. You're going to learn about your personality. We spent some time talking about mental illness and mental health. And because of that, I always say to my students that psychology is one of the cool things I think that the students find out after they take it is that, well, number one, almost everything that we do in this elective is like brand new information, things that you've never learned before. And that's kind of fun. It's all new stuff. It kind of makes it sometimes a little bit difficult, but learning all these new concepts is pretty neat for the students. And the other thing that I like to say is that just by the nature of the content, psychology is very personal. So every student that sits in that class and goes through learning about memories or learning about how we learn, you can personalize all of it, because it's all about how your memory works or about how your personality is developed. And so I think in that sense, the students really enjoy it as well. So I hope to see you in there. One part of the building, there's this famous mural, and it's massive, it's giant. I mean, I don't even know how big.
But basically, Mr. Weibel is a really fun teacher, and he starts from the beginning, 13 colonies, and tells us about how you expand westward and how America came to be. And the way he teaches is just so fun, and he tells stories with everything he does.
2/5 of our country. It was like uncomfortable, I have to admit. It's me and 25 American students in Mexico City, and this guy's like, yeah, and your country took 2/5.
When Mr. Weibel teaches it, it's a lot of history teachers, you'll see the goings, are able to, rather than just giving you the dates and what happened, actually explain it in the story of life. Seems like a lot of fun. Mr. Weibel's a great teacher, and overall, I feel like it's pretty easy to learn the content.
I think it's really important because it's in everything. As he says, like, there's a bunch of jokes, there's a bunch of movies and stuff that has it in it, and if you don't know it, you won't understand it. And if you don't learn from the past, then history might repeat.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Hager. I teach some of the required classes like U.S. History 2 and Civics and Economics. But I also offer 2 electives that you're able to take. The first one is Sociology. Sociology is a study of human behavior as it pertains to being a part of a group. And so we study things like culture, race and ethnicity, your role in the family, among other things. We'll do a lot of discussion-based classes and projects. Posters, video projects, and movies are included. You should take this class because it's a really good class. It also couples well with psychology from Mr. Weibel. Between those two classes, you'll have a full array of education based on what kind of behavior and why you are like you are.
If you are trying to find out more about, in general, what happens, not specifically one thing, like in general what happened in World War II, so the Pacific Theater, the European front.
Basically just about World War II. Talk about how it was the greatest generation and how we persevered through the war, how Europe was able to persevere.
This is more or less what people are involved in what they did. Due dates helps out a lot and teaches students that time management is very important.
I think history is important so we can reflect on the past and make better decisions in the future.